guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. This is kind of an interesting study that somebody emailed in to me, which you can find on my About page here on YouTube. And of course, you guys can private message me directly on betterbachelor.locals.com if you're a supporter. This is a story that was kind of sent in, and it's interesting. It's something that we've said for a long time, but there's now some science to kind of correlate our thoughts on the subject, which is basically women are much more casual and relaxed when it comes to using birth control when they're with hot guys and the bad boys and the intriguing guys, the guys that they actually are very physically attracted to. They seem to be a little bit more laxed when it comes to the birth control. But when they're with daddy provider and they're maybe with a guy that'll give them the money and take care of them and everything else, surprisingly, they're not quite as relaxed, which just goes to show that there is a physical lizard brain thing, whatever that's going on, that does make them desire wanting to have that kind of that child with the taller, maybe more muscular, maybe more dominant, maybe more aggressive guy. And then they want the guy that can push around a little bit and control to be the guy that provides them with the goods to take care of this other kid. And now there's some science that actually backs that up, and we're going to talk about that for a second. Before I jump into that, we are in first place for the race for the retreat. We've got 1 day left. We're almost there. So if you jump over to Daily Wire or Jeremy's Razors in the links below, make sure to support me so we can finish in first place. 24 hours. I'm very excited. We're doing very well on that. And a thank you to everybody that joined me over to the movie night over on betterbachelor.locals.com and had drinks. And we watched some movies, and we're playing on a Valheim server, and I've got Gilded installed. We're having a great time. So I really appreciate you guys playing in on that. So this from the Psy Post, women more likely to engage in risky sexual behaviors with more attractive partners. Now, again, I know a lot of you were saying, well, yeah, no, duh. We can see this in the stories that I read and the things that I talk about, but now they've got a little bit of studies that back it up. They say, according to a recent study published in Evolutionary Psychology Science, women report a greater tendency to engage in risky sexual behaviors with more attractive partners and when they use their own sexuality as a means of mate retention. Now, let's break that down. What does that mean? It's the same thing when they use their sexuality for mate retention. So what are they doing? They're chasing after that top 15% of guys. They're using their bodies, their body count, and sleeping with these guys and making themselves very sexually available to these guys to try to retain the guy. Even though the guy they know, well, he's probably going to bounce and he's got a lot of other girls, I'm going to use sleeping with him and being very casual with him to try to keep him. I mean, it's literally a mating strategy that women talk about all the time. And what happens? It means they're going to be much more risky when it comes to making sure that they don't get pregnant and everything else. They say parental investment theory posits that women are the more discriminating sex in selecting mates given they invest so much more in offspring, i.e. gestation, lactation. In contrast, the minimum parental investment for men could be just one successful copulation. Thus, men are more likely to engage in casual sexual opportunities, while women are less likely to seek sex outside of committed relationships. Correct, in the past. But currently, because women have child support and big daddy government and social media and everybody else saying, hey, you're stunning and brave and go for it, and the government will help take care of you and child support will take care of you, that risk has gone away. It's completely gone. And women can work for themselves, make their own income, send their kid off to daycare or something like that. So there is virtually no risk for women anymore. And so even though their lizard brain says one thing, the real world tells them a different thing. They say, let's see, women's mate preferences differ for long and short-term partners. For long-term romantic relationships, women have a preference for men who exhibit resource acquisition potential, i.e. the provider role, and men who have positive traits such as maturity and kindness. For short-term relationships, women have a stronger preference for indicators of good genes such as physical attractiveness, masculinity, intelligence, and dominance. These traits signal genetic qualities that could provide offspring with survival advantages. Traits such as bilateral symmetry and masculinity are indicators of developmental stability and long-term health and immunocompetence, respectively. Right, so what does this mean? This is why I tell you guys, by the way, if you want to go out and you just want to hook up and be into the casual dating culture and get laid and not worried about getting married and all that other stuff, go hit the gym, get muscular. You don't have to be one of these crying effeminate types that are, cry during a Disney movie. You don't have to go to the parade where she wants to hold up a sign saying whatever. You can be nope, hey, if you want to hook up later, I'll be here, hitting the gym, hanging out with the boys, doing whatever. This is what I'm going to do. And she may call you a toxic man as she's pulling down your jeans to throw you in bed. I hate you, but please get undressed. I want to do you. And if you disagree with this, again, they're saying it right here. For short-term relationships, women want good genes, physical attractiveness, masculinity, intelligence, and dominance. That's the hookup culture. So why are all these top 10 percenters going out there and getting so lucky? Because those are the qualities they have. And the women will do that. And then when it's time to actually care for the child and have the nice, easy life and everything's going well, she'll go to the provider. It's the same thing in the other story I read today from this Australian lady, right? She's 28. She already has a kid who's 12 years old. She had that kid with a 12 years old with a hookup dude, with a hookup casual thing. And now she's gone over here to Big Daddy Provider that's going to help take care of her and her kid, because that's the long-term relationship. That's the one she wants to lock down for marriage. Women reported engaging in risky sexual behaviors with more attractive partners, and when they used sexual inducement as a tactic to retain the partner. This suggests sexual risk-taking functions as a mate retention strategy in order to increase the relationship satisfaction of their partner. Women who are more socially dominant were more likely to engage in conception risking behaviors and would be less upset by an unintended pregnancy. So when they were more socially dominant, what's that mean? Social media, maybe more friends, maybe more a larger social circle of people that they hung out with. And they said they literally say, well, if he's more attractive and he's better looking and they're using their sexuality to keep the relationship alive, i.e. they're a partner for this person, the more likely oopsie doopsie, I got pregnant, what do you know? And they have the study here, and I actually read down into it. I can't get the full paper without paying for it or actually doing a lot of digging, and I didn't feel like doing a lot of digging. But you guys get the idea. And here's, I'll leave it with this. I'll leave it with this graphic here. This is, every once in a while I pull up these Tinder analytics things, and I'm going to just scroll through this so you can see it real quick. As a 25-year-old female, she's on Tinder for 56 days. Now, this is key, guys. This is key. I want you to remember this. She's 25. She's been on Tinder for less than 2 months. She swiped left 2,043. She only swiped right 69% of the time out of 2,000. That is, what, 5%? I mean, no, I take that back. 10% would be 200. 5% would be 100. She swiped right on 3%ers, what she found to be the best 3% of men. She matched 41 times because these guys, even if they're 3%ers that she likes, they're like, hey, this is a date to sleep with women. She's not bad looking. I will. She ended up chatting with 26 of them. So out of 2,000, she only ends up chatting with 26 of them, which is, what is that? That's less than 1%, right? Yeah, that's right around 1%. She went on 23 dates. 3 she never met. And here's the clutch, dude. Here is the clutch. Relationships, 0. Marriages, 0. Casual sex, 19. In 2 months, this girl had casual sex 19 times. 19 times in 60 days. That is a different dude every 3 days. And she's using her sexuality, obviously, to try to be with these guys, because that's what the guys are there for. This is why women's selection is so screwed up, is because guys will go out there and do the casual thing. They will have the fun. But here's the danger. The odds of you becoming a dad and her saying, everything's fine, you go ahead and bust a nut, man, like I'm on birth control, we're good. And her actually either accidentally or intentionally forgetting to take her stuff is getting dudes in trouble. And then she may decide, hey, you know what? I want to keep it. Or she may use that as you need to stay with me because now you're going to be a father. And if you don't stay with me, I'm just going to hit you for child support and everything else. And they're doing this with the hot guys, the good looking, the masculine guys. And if that doesn't work, they keep the kid and then they move into the next stage, which is the long-term partner needs to be the provider, has social status or money or something else, like the other story I talked about today. It's all tied together. And I'm going to toss this in. This wasn't I'm not going to do a full story here, but I am going to toss this in as well now that I think of it. This is from Sex and Psychology by Dr. Justin Lee Miller. Does sexual arousal override feelings of disgust? I'm not going to read the whole story. I will just tell you what it said. And you can search it up. I mean, again, it's from September 17th. You can just do a search for Justin Lee Miller there. But what it basically says is they did a test where they would just ask people to do, or ask women to do gross things. And I won't say the gross things because, again, some of these things I can't say on YouTube. But after engaging and flirting and talking with men they were attracted to, women's gross factor was lowered, that they would be willing to do things that they would have normally considered gross. They were willing to do them when they were aroused and excited. And what does this mean? It means the bad boys, the women that are really into a dude, he can convince them maybe to do things that maybe they wouldn't do with everybody else, which is why when a woman comes forward, she says, like that Tinder girl that has 19 hookups in 2 months, when that girl becomes your wife or girlfriend or whatever, and she says she doesn't want to do certain favors for you in the bedroom, but then you see videos of her or hear stories of her doing all these things for these other guys, but she's not doing it for you, it's because she's willing to do it for the hot guys, that her inhibitions are lowered just for the attraction level, which goes to show you she's really not that attracted to you to begin with. You're a provider, not somebody that's actually making her excited. Guys, join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com. I've got a couple more articles and things I'm going to talk about over there that I can't do here on YouTube, and I'll do that over there for anybody that follows me on betterbachelor.locals.com. And otherwise, we will see you in the next one.